The workspace in After Effects might look different based on the artist behind the wheel. There are tons and tons of different configurations of these things called panels. As you can see here, this is the default workspace called Standard. Whenever you want to change your workspace to focus on a specific task, you can go to the workspace and change it. So you can choose text, which will open up text tools like character and paragraph panels. I can go here as well and choose paint, which opens up my painting tools and my brushes. I can go to motion tracking, which opens up my tracking controls. I can also choose minimal when I want to just focus on the comp itself and the timeline. I can go to effects when I want to focus on the effects panel, which is this guy right here. Now nothing is here right now until we add an effect. So I'll go ahead and quickly show you one. I'll just choose this layer. I'll go to effect. I'll just add one at random. Let's go ahead and choose bulge. Now the effects controls appear here, and we can manipulate them, and we can even hide them by clicking this FX. Now, whenever you want to choose one of these guys, as you see here, it's just as easy as choosing it from here, and you can always go back and forth. You can, of course, make your own workspaces and delete them. Now, these guys are called panels, and if you don't see a particular panel that you need, all you have to do is go to the window menu and choose it from here. Sitting on top of our workspace, we find that we have some icons here that will perform certain tasks, from working with the puppet tool, working with the eraser, paintbrush, type tool, cameras, and more. We can even zoom into things. We'll have on most of the panels little menus that live on the upper right hand corner, so we can perform certain tasks based on the panel that we have selected. We can even rearrange these guys, and I do talk about this elsewhere, but if you want to, you simply click on the grabber and you drop it in one of these little color zones here, and you simply rearrange how you're working. The most important thing, of course, is if you mess up and you don't want to try to figure out where everything was, that's what brings us back to this guy here. So this is your friend. We can go here again and we can choose standard, or we can simply choose to reset standard or reset any of these to the default. Now we also have the project panel, which is where you're going to be importing your artwork, your audio, and so on. We already talked about effects controls. The star of the show is actually the composition panel. So when we drag things here, or we drag them to this icon here, we can see the movie or the picture that we're going to work with. Whenever you double click on a layer down here, it opens up a separate window that lives next to the comp window called a layer. Certain functions require this, so we will cross those bridges when we get there in this tutorial, but certain functions don't work unless they're in their own layer. We have a effects and presets panel, which has a search field, and we can search for certain things like cartoon effects. And as you can see, all you have to do is enter a few letters and it will find it for you. Then you drag that effect right onto your comp. Down here we have timeline. The timeline is where we do all of our animation, and we'll talk about this later as well. And it's a really powerful tool. You can do all kinds of things. You can animate rotation, position, opacity, and so on.